SEA.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the final map of the evening for ESL Pro League today. I am Ryu, and joining me at the Xfinity desk is the Bears. And before we preview this next match on Cash, wanted to take a moment to thank another sponsor that helps to make this season happen. That is SanDisk. Thank you very much, SanDisk, for your continued support of the ESL Pro League. Just saw really what felt close, sort of a slow start for EchoFox. It seemed like maybe they were picking it up. Going into Cash, what are you expecting as your earpiece literally jumped at me out of your ear?
Okay, it happens. You know, sometimes it jumps right out at you. I expect Shazam. I expect more opping from Shazam. It's a little harder on Nuke because with all the rotations, and if they don't go outside, it's harder to op that inside.
I'm sorry, I know it's getting a little sideways here, but I turn to look at you and it's just like right in my general direction.
Sometimes you just gotta let it out, man. You just gotta let the beast out. It's
opening itself up for a wet willy. You realize the karma of the previous segment.
I don't want.
So you're saying Shazam opping on Cash. He's been playing pretty well. It was again a slow start for EchoFox. What do you expect? What do you need to see from Shazam for EchoFox to get a win tonight?
I want to see more first op kills with him. Like just lead with op, pick off Ricky. I want him to go after him. You know, don't be scared of Ricky. Just go after him and kill him. Because if you kill him over and over, he's gonna play more passive. He's gonna play a little scared, and then that could open up a lot for your team. You know, don't be scared of him.
Confidence.
Confidence.
You can match up against Ricky if you're Shazam, right?
Yeah, you know, just have your teammates flash for me. They'll be like, hey, flash for me. Jump out. Are you going to peek again? Boom.
If you're Ricky, how do you feel about that? What do you need to do to shut Shazam down to not allow that to happen?
Well, Ricky can keep playing how he's playing, and that's pretty much shutting the whole team down. So just be able to move, you know, have some good rotations. Don't over-peak too much, because especially on a map like Cash, you know, there's opportunities where they can just hop out middle, and if you over-peak too much, you might get picked off. So just don't get picked off after over-peaking, and I think Renegades should be able to do pretty well.
All right, you heard it there from De Beers without the earpiece. Let's send this one over to Dazed and Stash. Take it away, guys.
All right, right back to that, of course. So welcome to the second match, ladies and gentlemen, here between EchoFox and the Renegades. This time it's going to be on Cash, however. So Daze, what are your initial thoughts on this one before we jump into the match?
So my initial thoughts here are that EchoFox, I need to see them change their setup more and mask what setup they're in more. That's the main thing I want to see from them. Whenever you watch them on Cash, Roka always plays the B site. He almost always plays headshot. He saves his smoke. If they do a molly execute, he tries to one-way the site almost every single time. Shazam's almost always Z, and they generally play like 2-1-2s and things like that. But to have a successful Cash, the main thing that you want to do is you always want to mask your setup. You don't want them to ever know if you're in a 1-3-1, a 2-1-2. If you're doing a 2-1-2, mask that it's a 1-3-1, then go back. And if you do that, then the teams have to go through their checklist from their, you know, because most teams start in a default on T side. I'd say 80% of rounds you see on T side are going to start with a default. And then if they think you're 1-3-1 or they don't know, they still have to go through their checklist. And they'll actually make a lot of mistakes. If you trick them into thinking you're in a 1-3-1, maybe they do a quick A exec, and then bam, you're in a 2-1-2. You have a guy at fork, guy at site, you probably shut it down, right? So definitely mask your setup, you know, move your op around a lot. You know, you could say that with almost every map. I expect Freakazoid usually plays around fork. He might start pushing A main a little bit. He likes to get pretty aggro there. Hopefully he has well-timed pushes. But it looks like we're going live, and I have no idea what to expect from Renegades. They used to do a lot of executes back in the day, have a lot of cool mollies, smokes, things like that. But now, you know, they have a different roster, so I have no idea what to see from them.
All right, guys. Well, we are going to be jumping into it now. The pistol round getting started here in about 3 seconds, with the Renegades now starting off on their T side, and EchoFox jumping on to the CT side. Initially, we're going to see Renegades actually sending a majority of their players directly over to the B halls for a push in that direction. It's 3 fully committed from EchoFox, though, so don't call them out just yet either. They're ready for this type of hit. And that nade, super well timed, but it goes a little bit too far, unfortunately. Not only this, but Yam and Azar and Nustillo have found the 3 kills on all those natural players within the bomb site. Shazam trading out at least onto one of them there, but the nade dropping back in. Azar finding that additional kill leaves only Sean Garris as the last one left alive here. And unfortunately for him, he's going to fall pretty quickly too. Ricky picks up the final kill, and the Renegades go up 1-0.
Yeah, not much to say about that. You really got to hit your shots. But one thing I have noticed about Renegades is on B on T side, they 5 armored rush B on Dust 2. Now we're seeing a rush B on Cash with 5 armors. So that might be a little bit of a tell, and that might be, I mean, EchoFox, you know, they had 3 there. They had an opportunity to win the round. You just got to hit those shots.
Even a nade planting itself in there too, just a little bit mistimed.
Yeah.
And it would have done massive damage to stunt them and probably allow them to close out in that situation. But now, of course, the Renegades go much slower paced this time, since we will be seeing the force-up from EchoFox looking to capitalize on any early aggressive movements here from the side of EchoFox here. But obviously, see, moving into A main, a little bit of a battle there. Still out again. It's unfortunately going to get taken down by Azur, who does push his way out there, eliminates Freakazoid. And with that, again, the defenses just split themselves across the map, not even really giving away where this hit is moving in towards as of yet, too. Azur still trying to kind of investigate. You can see Sean back down towards Highway, and now these players are going to be able to confidently move up. Although Sean does grab 1 kill, he's dinked along the way, which makes it an easy cleanup for JKS. Shazam, nicely done, finds this little Quandig there against Ustillo. Back over here on the Highway area. JKS is still holding. Roka trying to bait out the extra ammo in the gun at this point, but still, JKS finds the kill. Unfortunately, he used all that ammo, so when Rix pushes out, there's nothing that JKS can do to hold his own position there. This is actually even back out into a 2 versus 2. These guys are set up pretty cross-sprayed at this point, too. See, both the kills come out pretty quickly. Fortunately, those last 2 guys from EchoFox kind of get jumbled up just on the corner of the box.
Some pretty good kills there, but the one thing I want to say is, you know, you expect Scream to have like an insane deagle, right? You expect Nico to have an insane deagle. I think Sean's the most deceptive deagler. You know, he might not have the best M4, the best AK, or the best op, but his deagle is like world class. Every time I see him with it, he always gets just like, there's so many clips of him like 4K'ing from his stream and stuff like that. His deagle is insane, man.
So it's Sean, of course, showing us the deagle skills indeed. We won't be seeing it on this round, as he's just going to be picking up a P250. A little bit of a lighter buy, of course, and Renegades wasting no time just overwhelming A. And they even sweep it around to box him in to prevent anybody from falling back to this truck angle. Now Shazam had rotated back in, and we'll grab that kill against Ustillo. It's at a heavy cost, though. He's down at 5 HP now. He's got support a little bit further back. And we actually do see there, too. Bonnie's going to get dinked. It's like 3 or 4 dinks there, but I think a lot of it is through the truck, so not doing as much damage as the CTs would have liked here. Rix is left as the last man standing, but there may actually be a gun on the ground here, which you could try to pick up and do a little bit more damage with. Ultimately, though, Yam and Ricky end up rounding the corner again, and they do take him down. Any more casualties?
Yeah, so first gun round here, Shazam's still getting an op. They just don't have that much utility. So I'd be very surprised if I see a 1-3-1 here. I think they'll probably just play more standard. Like I said, you know, probably have just Shazam off and Z, 2-1 to it.
And indeed, from the start
okay,
of
they're
this
moving him around, though. He's going towards A. I like it.
He's going to work his way over here, just going past onto the site, and they'll have 2 within the B bomb site, too. They'll leave Sean to watch out for the mid-pressure initially here while keeping 2 in checkers. Nobody actually on the B-bomb site, so these guys are going to walk out, but when they walk into checkers, that's where they're going to have some issues there. That's where they're all waiting for them, and Sean finds that first kill a little bit further out there, but these 2 guys are kind of stuck behind the checkers box right now. It's a bit of a sticky situation. He still even pushes out, kills the rotator from Truck. Now they've gotten that first kill onto the player in checkers box, and there you go. There's the surprise from Roka. It's the second man that catches them off guard. Unfortunately, they only have 1 player in the initial midst of it. When Roka peeks out the main checkers entryway there, he will just get shut down by Yam regardless, so falls to Freakazoid. Unfortunately, there's already 2 people peeking out for him as well. So it's a nice quick shutdown, and the Renegades start off once again on a good streak here, going 4-0 at the beginning of the match.
I think that was a complete 5-man towards B. Just made it look like it was off a default. You know, they smoked the B main, they molly checkered. Very, very standard play off a default. 4 guys just jumped through the smoke while 1 guy stayed back and watched underneath the vent. Caught them so perfectly, too, because, you know, they were trying to boost vents to get some sort of mid control. Just completely caught them off guard. But they were trying to boost vents, but they didn't even have a B main smoke. Or if they did, they missed it. But I don't think they even threw a B main smoke. You can't boost vents but not have a B main smoke. You just can't do it.
As we get into the next round here, too, where there's just upgraded pistol investments once more. Renegades are wasting no time on these rounds anymore. The only time they took it really slowly was on that second round. Now they're just going full throttle against this, and the only one left alive here still is going to be Rix, who's stuck in this one-and-done corner here in the B-bomb site. Peeks out, finds JKS, but obviously with just a little CZ, it's going to be very hard to find that impact. So the Renegades close out quickly again.
Yeah, and similar to what happened in the last map too, right? Renegades got off to a 5-0 start, I think it was last new calf, right? On CT side. They built up such an economy, and you know, it's just the EchoFox is just getting in this hole that's so difficult to climb up from when they get this type of economic advantage.
You can see Yam too moving in, trying to look for that early peek outside of the mid doorway, but this time it's a lot more resistance here in mid. Pop Flash goes over though, and that is going to be where we see the immediate impact of the Renegades. Sean Garris catches the trade onto Yam a little bit further out here towards mid, and he's hunting for more. It's actually Rix that ends up finding a kill, but fortunately for him, the vents are burning. And as he runs back, he only leaves himself with about 30 HP when he gets back outside of it, and obviously one more player here from the Renegades will be waiting. Things get even back up. It goes down to a 3v3, but the Renegades themselves haven't necessarily committed themselves towards either site as of yet. We are going to see again, Ustillo getting boosted back up here to check for any pressure in mid. At the same time, the CTs aren't really wanting to take a big part of resisting that either. Sean is still stuck in Z, but is not peeking it anytime soon. More just watching for them to push back through that. As with plenty of time on the clock and all this action happening very early on, it still leaves quite a lot of breathing room for the Renegades to investigate and capitalize on any mistakes that the CTs may have made by pushing out. Now though, things getting a little bit lower from the timer perspective. They do start to move in towards the B-bomb site, and he still investigates so that he can have that added vents pressure. The problem for him is that Sean is also moving in here, but Sean doesn't end up connecting on that first volley there. Has to fall back inside. He'll let him get control, and he still is going to waste no time about this either. Sticking around for a moment here just to see if he repeaks, but ultimately will be... Actually, no, it looks like they're falling back now and going to go for an A hit instead, so they spotted Sean here. So last-second change-up, and they're going to hit the A site instead.
Yeah, you know, I think they're opting towards A here because I think they think that Roka heard them over by B because they weren't making noise. So they switch it up and go towards A here. Shazam has a... It's so tough there. If you're quad and they're coming from highway and A main like that, it's so difficult because if you miss that initial shot at A main, you can't re-peek wide, right? And you can't back up because then the guy highway is going to kill you. So pretty difficult spot to see. Like, someone that dominates that, man, is Henny. I think Henny is like probably the best quad opera I think I've ever seen. But now Roka just trying to save. And the only other thing I wanted to add was, you know, Sean used to be their hybrid. But are they switching it to Roka now? Because this is the second time in a row when they've gone to a double op setup. We saw it on Nuke one round. Now we're seeing it on Cash. That Roka actually has the op, and that secondary op one, or setup.
It seems to be that case over the past couple of days he's been using it. I haven't noticed it, like, if we go back a few weeks from now, we haven't really seen it, but this may be something that they're kind of experimenting with now. So the Renegades will go up 6-0, still keeping themselves flawless as of this point. And again, as you were mentioning previously, the money continues to build up for that T side too, which always proves to be dangerous. EchoFox having to save on this round, just a light investment for most of their guys, and Ricky already starting to punish some more of them here. JKS knows there's pressure coming out from the B hall, so the flashbang will hold them back. Give him time to really prep for this. And still hunting out here too. This is Ricky again. Looking for players back by the white box. Not even really needed. Zm just taps away at it. Finds Freakazoid on the peak. Here's Sean with the Deagle again, but unfortunately swings that a bit too wide. Isn't ready for Ricky on this other side with the garage push, and he gets taken down. JKS.
Beautiful Roka and Ronnie trying to go for the run boost. Fails miserably. And he just falls to his death.
So that'll leave just Rick's alive here, and they already know where he's at because of that earlier play there. So Ustillo is just going to take him down. And the Renegades, oh, and even a little dirty little teabag there as well. Just adding it in, a little bit of extra flair, just to rub it in how much they're wrecking right now.
Yeah, we'll see what they do here. When they did that 1-3-1 that last gun round, though, Freakazoid got caught just out in the middle of open. And Ronnie was already in vent, and they already had a guy highway. So he either needs to stay sandbags, or if he wants to get into, you know, under boost or whatever, he needs to do it quicker. Much more quickly, or make sure there's a molly on boost while you're going up, because there's no molly that can come out any second. Because that's where he wanted to get the round before.
Roka with the up in hand, actually finding this first kill too. A little bit further back in the B bomb site is where he picks that one up. Stopping players from pushing over towards the B halls here. And the rest of the T's, they are putting a lot of early pressure out here over towards the A site, but Shazam is waiting. The problem is he's got destroyed by that flashbang, so he's pushed back, and actually he still's got a perfect angle beyond that smoke, and he gets the second one as well. Great follow-up before Sean could fall further back over on highway, and that just gave them so much breathing room, but Freak doesn't want to take that lightly. He moves back in, capitalizes by finishing off JKS. Unfortunately, he has not been able to stop him from getting the bomb into the site, getting control here, but look at this wild push from Ustillo. He moves in, grabs a third kill now. Rix and Freak are going to try to push their way up highway, but Renegades are able to read this from a mile away. They smoke, flash this off. They're just holding them back for as long as they can. And again, he's still moving in there. He's going to go for the ace, and he's going to get it.
That was just an insane round by him. Right when it went down to a 4v5, you know, I think they recognized that it was a 1-3-1 right away. A lot of the time, if you recognize it's 1-3-1 right away and you need to make a play, he snuck out to forklift, which works super often, because if that Opera at A is, you throw one flash at him or whatever, you can usually get out to Fork, and as we saw, he made plays.
So now the Renegades propelling more forward here now. Just going to send EchoFox onto yet another eco round where we don't expect all that much impact at all. Sean trying to walk his way in A main. He has snuck in, but obviously that smoke is very telling of that, so watching out for it, and he still is able to very quickly punish it. Yam even catching Shazam, peeking out from Z here. JKS trying to hunt at the default angles here in the B-bomb site. A bit flash back out, but again, it's a very little consequence. Freak at least finds his kill in mid, hunting for the second one too, and he actually gets that one, holds back Azur. So it turns the tables a little bit here. Won't be able to recover any of the guns just yet. Now Rix is going to be the next test here too. Sitting behind the forklift, they check it though. Yustilo finding him, follows it up with a second, and even knows where Roka is here, but Roka finishes him off. Now the last one alive though, in a 1v2 with 5 HP. He's got no utility, no armor. It's basically a piece of paper at this point, so someone just needs to punch through it to finish him off. Flash 2, taking some guesses here at the shot, but ultimately, again, unless he pulls out an absolute miracle here with the Deagle. What she might now. Hold on. He's found JKS. There's one more to go. It's going to be a slow peek from Ricky, but Ricky still stops the madness and closes out the round.
Dude, Astilla was a god, man. How did he know that Ronnie was forklift there? Did you see that he clears like the whole site, walks back to forklift, and then flanks him? I don't know if Ronnie made noise or not, but that was a pretty sick play, man. And the only other thing I wanted to add though is, back to my last point, is one of the reasons it's even easier to go out through Fork is that nobody really plays fence that often anymore, because obviously, like, even if the smoke's up, it's just everybody mollies that spot. So that just makes it even more even more powerful that you're able to go out of that smoke and sneak in a forklift.
So we'll see good flashbangs here. Blinds Yustilo. That's where he's finally actually going to get knocked out early on in the round here. Freakazoid with the A main push, moves in, shuts him down. Now we'll leave this into a 4-on-5 and also leave the Renegades a bit stunned here too. They had Ricky in position, and Ricky, the good news for him is actually, to a partial degree, has one of these guys cut off, but now he's going to pull out the smoke, and he actually switched at the wrong moment. Didn't toss it on the ground, so Sean is just going to get the full kill onto Ricky. 100-0 in the molly, and the failed toss of the smoke sends that up, hurling to the ground.
Yeah, I think he was fumbling his nades there. I think he actually had a smoke, because I saw him just cycling through it. But it seems like EchoFox's setup on CT side, I swear, if they do 2-1-2, they almost always push A main, which I don't like it that much, because they always push it, and a lot of the time they don't push it before any action happens. So like there could be 3 people there, like if I was playing against EchoFox and I could read that they're in a 2-1-2, I'd literally just be like, A main push, A main push, A main push. Generally you push A main after the T's take mid control or something like that to regain some type of map control. But they do it a little bit differently. They smoke the back of it, Ryan pushes in and just owns it.
And so Rick's here too now, still getting ready for the hit to work its way in towards B, but obviously Roka very much so progressed up at this point over here towards Sunroom, waiting for Yam to go for the B. You're never going to expect Roka to be in that spot, so that's a very easy kill for him to get. Not only this, but Rix and Freak just claim the final 2 pretty quickly after that one. Finally, after 9 rounds straight for the Renegades, EchoFox do get on the board.
Just so key for them to win a round and actually have 4 or 5 around, alive, Just so key. We've seen it. How many times have we seen CLG these past 2 days finally win a round, get on the board with 1 alive, and then just get reset and have to save the next 2 rounds. So super important to do that to keep their economy pretty good.
So that is now going to leave EchoFox in a much better position as we see the Renegades getting ready to push in again. They actually slow down and go for that default we've been seeing a lot of teams use, but now EchoFox all of a sudden showing a bout of confidence. They move out. Freakazoid takes down JKS. That leaves things down into a 5v4 once more, but fast outside. Ooh, Shazam actually just misses that shot. So he had a perfect angle, but moves to the last second, and now on the repeat, that's where Ricky's going to punish. There's players waiting around from the CT side. Sean's going to move in, catches Yustilo with a nade in hand. 2 more still trying to push out in the smokes. Cover for Freakazoid at least, but Sean's not going to waste any time. Pushes up the fork. He doesn't get that kill, though. He's going to dive away when he runs out of ammo. Yam also sitting on the cusp of this one, too. Sean's going to try to take it, and he moves in perfectly just when he's got the nade out once more. 2 players have been caught in that situation in this round, and Ricky with a 1v4. Doesn't obviously have a whole lot of hope to this one. Was hunting down for at least 1 kill, but Freak pushes up to Fork and shuts it down. Yeah,
so some early aggression here. B push this round, last round the A main push. Really catching Renegades off guard, winning those next 2 rounds, and finally getting on the board. One thing I noticed from Renegades is, even if they're in like a 3v5, they're never afraid to just have like a lurker. like have 2 guys working kills one spot and still have a lurker. They're never afraid to do that. So that's definitely something like if other teams are watching and they need to take note of. It's not necessarily the right or wrong thing to do. I'm just talking about like other pro teams. You know, recognize that, because if you play them, even if they're 3v5, you're still gonna have a lurker.
We can see again another fast attempt at an execute from the Renegades here. Sean even risking the Molotov, dives into it, but it doesn't pay off. Ricky is going to take him down. So Renegades do brute force their way into the site. Roka going to dive down, but that pot flash, it has blinded Yam at the same time, but he hasn't checked behind him here, so Yam gets the free kill, and now JKS peeks out from the other direction, finishes off Rix. Ricky finds Freak on the push back to the B-Halls, and it's just Shazam now, and they know exactly where he's at, sitting over here towards the CT spawn. Pop Flash does not go where he wants it to. At the very least wants to finish off Ustilo, which he'll accomplish, but that allows Azur to very quickly take him down since he's out in the open.
Yeah, second time this half that that strat worked, that just brute force B play, going through the B main smoke, and you never, like, Sean, you never want to do that, man. I've learned from so many fails of my own. You do not step into that Molotov when you see the B main smoke in the molly, and you know that, and you know that other people aren't on the other side of the map for Renegades. Don't force it. Go back to CT spawn or go back to site every single time, or back checkers even.
So again for the Renegades, still trying to set themselves up to roll into the A-bomb site. It's a much faster setup this time, however, and Sean waits to see if he can find anything. There was a little hole at the bottom right of the doorway there that he could try and spot some feed through, but now ends up going just below the Shroud spot boost. It's going to be placed here, waiting for the actual hit to move in. It's still very quiet on the field, but nonetheless, Renegades decisively go for it. Sean shuts down 2, even does damage to the 3rd before getting knocked out by JKS. The flash of the smoke, though, he's going to be partially blind, but Azur still gets the kill. Here comes that flank from Freak, though, and he moves in. 1, 2, and 3. He shuts it down. And EchoFox do piece together a 3rd.
Yeah, just 5 manning sites, opens up the flank. The one thing that I did notice from Ronnie there is when that smoke went up towards, you know, quad, people are always going to flash through that. So the best way to play that is to actually be right next to it, right? Because then if you get blind, you could walk in the smoke. But if you don't get blind, you just get a free kill on the guy jumping through, instead of just like being towards the site. That's the best way to play it.
The Renegades aren't wasting any time here trying to set themselves up, and I'm getting some good damage through the garage doors. As now EchoFox play things aggressively out towards mid to deny that pressure. We even see Shazam grabbing the kill by pushing into Sunroom here onto JKS. He gets knocked out of the equation. And the rest of Renegades here, too, are still struggling to really find any footing. EchoFox have a pretty tough crunch at this point. And as they move out, Roka is even ready for that one. Finds the second follow-up with some assistance from Freakazoid there. Azur, at the very least, trades out Freak, but now Roka's safely tucked away there, and he also catches Azur just as he's jumping down, so when he fully pushes back out, that's where he's going to punish. Ustilo is going to have to go for a God mode play once again if he wants to give his team this round.
That's the level he's been at, though. So.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit tough for him to do it, but we see the flank working in from Roka, and Roka ends up outclassing him in this situation. He'll take him down, and EchoFox will go up 4-10.
Yeah, no, the only other thing I want to add for anybody that was wondering about the Sean thing when he went into that molly, basically whenever that beast main smoke and molly comes down, you just never want to be caught in no man's land, right? If you're anywhere from Checker's entrance towards the site, like, and you're in between those and not in a good spot, there's a really good chance that you're just going to die and give up the B site, and it's like almost impossible to retake because they know you're probably coming from vents for the teammates. So
again here, still enough cash flow. We were talking about before here to buy a semi-decent buy on the final round of the half for the Renegades. 2 Tech 9 pickups for Yam and Ustilo, and obviously the 2 Galil downgrades, limiting the utility for some of these guys, but as they push in, there's nothing really that works on the way out here. Shazam is just able to peek out from quad, finding Ustilo. The molly goes into the back corner, and he's going to be pushed further up onto the site, and unfortunately tries to toss out a smoke to hold these guys back. Not only that too, but Yam caught the flank, so that's Freakazoid getting knocked out, and Ricky just pushes forward with 2 kills on his Galil. Sean is the last one alive here. They even expected the push from Highway, so they've smoked it back off. Let's go for a nice flick there. It actually does connect the damage, but still, Azur is going to take him down. So that will end the half. It is another dominant one for the Renegades. They go up 11-4. The second half, guys, is coming up in just a few minutes. Stick around for more action right here at the ESL Pro League.
He's going to get the one kill in that bomb. Coming onto the side. FNX has to stay up. Oh, he gets the triple FNX. Oh my god, what a way to win that round. They don't have a smoke, so this orb is still. Oh,
ESL Pro League is brought to you in part by Logitech G, Pay Safeguard, TheScoreEsports.com, Mountain Dew, and ESEA.
For the last time this evening, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the ESL Pro League. Renegades versus EchoFox. Currently the Renegades, once again, making a show of things as they go up 11-4, dominating stance just like on our last map on Nuke here on Cash. Now they're about to jump onto the CT side, and obviously again, it's time for EchoFox to make up and try to round this comeback. Dazed, your thoughts heading into the second half?
Yeah, so I told you during the break, I think Renegades had a 15-round bye. Like, I don't think they had to save once. Their last round that they won, they had 3 Tech 9s, yeah. But some really just impressive stuff from them. I mean, it was kind of similar to the Immortals, Cobble game versus CLG last night, where Immortals was just brute forcing, and they were just able to just go through that B main smoke, little to no, pressure from EchoFox as they were doing it, 5-manning constantly. They only lost one round that they 5-manned. That one round that they tried 5-manning towards A, I think it was. Sean killed 2, and then, that they were able to win that round, I think it was. But they would just 5-man stuff, then they would go back into a default, and that's actually when EchoFox had more of an opportunity to win the round, it seemed. But EchoFox couldn't hold a default. Most of the rounds they won, they triple pushed B the one round, they pushed the A main that one round. Most of the rounds they won, they couldn't just hold a standard, and that actually is kind of like a big red flag, especially not being able to hold the standard setup and getting ran over like that is a really big red flag, because a lot of teams will see that and they'll play like that, and that's stuff in a standard setup that you should be able to show a lot of resistance and at least make the rounds close.
We will be jumping into the second half now, guys. EchoFox, a lot of room to make up on this T side, but we will see if they are able to do it. I think the biggest streak they had was only 2 in a row over the course of that entire half. So in credence to the fact that Renegades, all the cash that they had, it took them quite a while to break them, even though the rounds were getting a little bit closer there towards the end. Now, though, EchoFox do go to the slow type of default that...
I think this might be a restart.
Someone...
Yeah. I think Ricky's comp crashed or something for like 15, 20 seconds there. I think they're going to match medic it. Not 100% certain. EchoFox looks like they're playing out the round, but Renegade just has a bunch of guys in spawn, right?
Yeah, more than likely they would have called for it already. So
yeah,
probably going to get reset. But
yeah, my take on that is like, I know you guys were talking a little bit about it yesterday. I think that if a round is live and action actually happens, you should never be able to restart it, no matter what. But if a round isn't live, and like in this situation, it should of course be a restart.
You see some stuff going on for now, though, and it looks
maybe
like,
it's live.
I don't know. Depends. We'll figure it out, but we'll just assume it's live until we get further word on this one. Shazam, though, just making a mockery of things here as he moves in, grabs 3 kills. Roka as well with a nice little one-tap there. With a Glock, takes out Ricky. It leaves only JKS up and running. He's going to try to push in. Sean finds the kill, and we'll know in about 2 seconds if they want this reset, as it'll probably go to a pause.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it was live. They literally had people in spawn jumping around. How could they?
I don't know.
I just don't understand.
It's hard to know without seeing the.
This is my rookie casting showing through. I thought for sure it was gonna be restarted, man. Like, what?
My envisioning of that situation is probably like they called for it, but then he got back, and since nothing had happened at that point, and EchoFox weren't even close to site, they were like, yeah, just play it out, I guess. But that ended up biting back, unfortunately. Yeah,
it looks like they want to do some type of a molly take towards A would be my guess. Sean showed B pressure, immediately going back towards A. And the tough part about doing this is if door gets taken over, man. Like, if somebody just 5-7s and gets in door, and then you're trying to take the A site, and you have to look hard right like that, it's rough, man.
So we are going to look for EchoFox now to go for that execute. Azur, the main force, trying to stop this here, as he does wait for the push outside, but actually abandons his post back over there, playing a little bit further back behind the smokes in the site. And Mustillo gonna get taken down as they're able to hold for at least one kill, but it's 4-1 after everything is said and done, as Ricky's just gonna be left alive here. Last man standing for the Renegades, only with a USP, so not the greatest hope. As he rounds the corner, he's gonna find his first challenge against Sean, but aim punch destroys his aim, and Sean's gonna take him out.
Yeah, they actually had a good read. I mean, they had 4 guys there. They didn't have any utility, though, to really make something happen. And unfortunately for them, they had no crossfire, right? So there was nobody quad, nobody fence. All they had to look to was towards their left. And even though there's 4 guys there, they're all jumping around P90s and stuff like that. Pretty easy to take that site in that case.
So we will see the Renegades proceed over here again. They're just going to take the risk stack over. 5 men sitting on the A-bomb site while we wait for EchoFox. Prop themselves up. Again, this has become their standard type of play, just sitting back and waiting with this default.
I mean, and EchoFox did molly quad fence, so for good reason they didn't have anybody on the right side, right? But I'm just saying.
So again, we do actually see EchoFox proceed up towards mid initially too, so getting a little bit of a mini crunch on the site here early on, which Renegades will obviously have to try and deal with just USPs, which isn't going to be the best hope in the world. But actually, now that the timer's gotten low enough, they do decide to give it up. They're all just going to roll back over here towards B. And wait a second, hold on. Now even EchoFox are rolling into this one too. So this is going to get really interesting if they end up running into each other here. But thankfully for EchoFox, they end up getting into the site way before the Renegades were able to complete their rotation. So they're on the cusp of pushing back in, but it's just going to be an absolute slaughter. 2 for the Renegades roster, but that's it. Rix, Shazam, Freak, all shut it down after that.
Yeah, that was worth it, though, I think, getting those 2 kills, even though obviously they get some money off those Mac 10s and stuff. I've actually thought, like, if you just can't, like, make them run into a stack, you just shouldn't even try to challenge them, you know? Just have, like, some super homo setup, like, indoor with 5 people or something so that they can't get that Mac 10 money, you know? But getting those 2 kills is definitely worth it.
Yeah. With basically no investment, obviously, what more to lose there. So they do gain the extra 600 on those that managed to pick up the kills, and we're now going to see Ustilo getting himself into the Shroud spot. Now, it was rather close, the 2 that pushed over to the halls, but a lot of noise being made from elsewhere, too, so there's a chance they might not have heard him leaping onto there. We'll find that out when the actual execute comes in, but for the time being, this is definitely being propped up from EchoFox to go into the A site once again. They have Shazam sitting back just outside of the B halls, watching for a push from there. He'll rejoin these guys in a few moments. And obviously EchoFox, no reason to force the issue. There's still plenty of time on that clock. They still are able to push in at a moment's notice here, and then they go. Roka's going to start things off. No reaction from the player up on top of Shroud spot just yet. Smokes come in though, blocks off their angle. Shazam actually catching a first kill there too as he regroups and works his way out towards mid. That's going to shut down Ricky. Still, it's all hesitant here. EchoFox are actually having trouble getting up to the site, and there's where he still is going to punish. Even dropping down into the smoke too, but he gets blinded by a popped out smoke, so that's going to allow Roka to trade out onto him. Even combos it up with a second one. We do see Yam and JKS on the way, but they're so long back, and that is going to allow Shazam to go back and aim in there, grab that kill on Yam, and for JKS, obviously alone in a 1v3, he's just going to call save.
Yeah, that strat was really good, man. They had Shazam watching the B push, and then he actually comes towards the middle and watches Highway. And then they throw a ton of nades towards A and get running out on the boost to rush Highway while they're peeking A. And him going Highway there with Shazam on the floor is, first off, Shazam can kill anybody trying to kill Ronnie at Highway. Then they can pinch on the A site, and Shazam can get so many easy rotate kills at middle. Right, so that was a really well done strat. Unfortunately, for I think it was it Ustilo or Azure that was boosted up there? I don't think Ronnie knew where he died from. I don't think RYX knew, because they came out the door and they were just ready to push site. He could have gotten 3 more for free, but he assumed they knew, so he dropped down and wasn't able to get any after that. Ended
up running into that pop flash, and then everything kind of just collapse from there. So that does take the Renegades roster into pretty much an eco round, pretty much a full eco round there too. A couple players able to invest into armor behind their upgraded pistols, but Yam and Ustilo are not going to be able to. And obviously Ricky just saving the op, but with just the op, it's going to be a bit hard to find any big effectiveness with that. Although we do actually see quite a few players pushing their way into the back B halls. But again, just like the last round, Shazam is sitting here. He's waiting for it. We have another peek coming out in a second. They're trying to bait out the shot, but it's just as Shazam had unscoped, and we do see Yam finding that kill anyway. Now Sean's going to engage. Yam pulling back with the op, lines up another one. He's got an open duel, and oh my goodness, from Yam, gets the no-scope onto Roka. All of a sudden, it's a 3-on-2, but he's been smoked off finally missing the timing shot. They are going to sneak back in here. Site control is maintained, but a lot of room to go now to bring this back from the 2-on-3. Thankfully, Ustillo and Azar don't have any upgraded guns, but all this time they've needed to waste now, just making sure there was no one else in the site. Look at the hole it's opened up for Ustillo to move back in here. Rix handles that, though. It goes even again into a 2 versus 2. The Molotov is not going to connect because of the smoke back down in CT main, so they can freely peek back out, but all of a sudden, Renegades are not looking so confident anymore here. They've got to try to move in and find a lot more impact here, and Rix is just waiting for that push from CT main. They don't have a kit either currently in hand, and they can definitely hear Azar leaping back down there, so he's going to go down. Yam with another kill. One more to go. He's brought down to 32 HP, and Rix just going to play with the timer here. No reason to peek back out. Shot through the door there, but it's not going to make it, and now Yam knows he can't clutch this out, so he is going to run away, get the heck out of here, and look to save now.
Still a really good eco by Renegades there. And they keep the op. He gets a freaking sick 4K. Unfortunate for Shazam. Like, he got timing hard, man. As soon as he pulled out his flash, the flash for Sean, guy just peeks, kills him.
And so that does bring EchoFox in 2 rounds. Now tying this game back up. Renegades, of course, still able to reinvest once again. Ricky also picking up the op once more, too, as he was able to escape with that one. We've seen the effectiveness with it. He's got to do a lot more, and again, EchoFox just proceeding right up towards the A site to try and prime their execute, only leaving Sean Garris in the back to watch out for flanks in one. They're also mid-pressure, too, which there's quite a few members of the Renegades sitting around this area, just in the hall, is able to counter boost there to get them over into the vents and out towards mid for a fast rotate, but he's still out primed up over here towards Forklift. Is probably going to be first up to bat when it comes to the defense. Azar's there to support too, but the smokes that inevitably we'll see the T's toss out are going to eventually get in the way. We can see them still priming for it as well, waiting for the smoke to expire. Shazam did get hit once again, actually, so he's down at 4 HP after all is said and done too, so he's been lit up quite nicely by Ricky. Rotated in just a few moments go here with that damage coming out earlier from another one of them. And as we see, look at this, Ustillo just wrapping right up there. Him and Azar, along with the volleys to the ground, do so much damage. Shazam trades one out onto Ustillo, but Azar moving in, shuts down Roka. 3 still up for the members of the Renegades, and all 3 of them at pretty good HP too. In comes the spray from JKS, and Ricky finds the final blow against Sean. EchoFox, unfortunately, just can't even get out of the site there.
No, and they tried 4-1-ing again. You know, it seems like both teams are actually playing a very different cache, right? Normally when you play cache, you see constant defaults and then maybe going into 4-1s after that. Twice now we've seen EchoFox almost go into straight executes. But since they got so many deaths the round before, now they're in this terrible bye. Almost losing that anti-eco comes to just really, really hurt them.
And so here it is just going to be very direct on the opening push here from EchoFox. They're going to proceed right up to the edge of the B site, even making a whole lot of noise as they move towards it too. So we have on the cusp of rotating, Yam is just sitting in Z, and then they can also call for an early flank too. Ricky's actually going to find himself in a pretty bad spot, so he's got to peek back out, runs away, uses the smoke to dive back in, but they know exactly where he's at. He's in the corner, haven't found him, and there's the knife from Freak. Not only that too, but Shazam takes down Yam. We've only seen Yam catch that trade so far. Azar tries to move in, but somehow this brute force again has worked. Now it's Ustillo in a 1v3, but he peeks in, they don't expect him, and he was almost able to find Rix too. That molly that was going to roll back, going to force him out, jumps over, survives in his own regard. Still, Luis is going to try to pop flash in here, but he ends up getting flashed before he even throws his out. So, wasting the time, he has to reapply it now and moving in. Freak is going to catch him on the cross. Trading out the rounds once again, sending it back into the favor of EchoFox in this half.
And that should have never happened. Ustillo actually pushed through the main smoke, had complete control over it. I'm not sure where Yam died there, but he pushed through A main. They had 3 people there by the time they executed, and then a guy coming out of vent while a guy was back checkers. So they were perfectly set up to win that round versus just Tech 9s. Just kills did not even come close to going their way.
So, again here for EchoFox, obviously taking the advantage, and with the economies being as delicate as they were, we see Renegades being immediately broken, but they've taken the stack over towards the A-bomb site, and they're going to try to hold it here, but the problem is obviously EchoFox will be proceeding here towards B, where in just about 15 seconds or so, someone from EchoFox is going to be able to fully investigate this, see that it's clear. That'll even call for players like Shazam to move over now, and they should be able to waltz right in, get that bomb on the ground, and probably just take this round.
Yeah, I mean, after that round, I would actually say EchoFox is favored. That was a really, really bad round to lose if you're Renegades, with every advantage in the world. Ricky doing a freaking awesome self-boost there. That's pretty cool.
Run around there, so gets himself up on top at the very least, giving them a little bit of an angle to work with. But again, now the problem is, oh, Shazam is actually not going to connect that shot. So I was about to say it's a shooting gallery for him, but being dinked down there a bit. 32 HP, he's going to have to fall back now and wait for the rest of these guys to push out. Roka is actually kind of in the middle of the Hornet's Nest, but nobody's expecting him. 1 tap, 2 taps, he's a third blow, but there we go, and oh my god, Roka, they're eco kills, but that's still impressive. 4 fast kills from Roka, and just JKS left alive now. He's going to go for that one, and he gets the ace.
That was pretty absurd.
Roka's shutting it down. It's like 6 bullets that he uses to get all those kills as well.
Yeah.
That will push them ahead once again, and now really just starting to break Renegades, really grinding into him at this point. And even on this rebuy for the Renegades, with all they do get the op on Ricky, he's going to be sitting with no utility, and this is the same story for players like Usilo and Yam as well. They don't really have a lot to hold back EchoFox here, and they're going to be using a lot of it early on here to hold them in. There's the random peek from Azzo. At least it would appear random from Freakazoid. He even holds for a second one. There's going to wrap the corner, but all of a sudden a distraction comes in, and no! Rix is going to take down both of them. You would have thought it would have been able to trade, but the low health on Azzo there does allow Rix to combo together the second kill. JKS and Usilo peeking back out. They do correct for those trades, and it's just going to be Rix left alive here in the 1v3, stuck in mid with really nowhere else to move towards, and the bomb also currently back down over here on the highway position. Dive his way back in and really just try and see if he can find any stragglers over on the B-bomb site. But even as he lurks his way around here, Ricky is going to be waiting up on top of the plywood area, but Rix finds that kill, takes him down. So all of a sudden puts this into a 1v2. Not only this too, but note the time, 50 seconds on the clock. Problem is, wasn't expecting Usilo to have rotated all the way back here towards the garage, so he does eventually just kind of walk into his own doom.
Yeah, I mean, the kills, I think it was AZR got at Highway, are actually super T-sided kills. Like, that's not something that should happen. That guy should die each and every time. One flash over the highway and he's dead. It's something you have to have designated, you know, somebody designated to flash that, or else, things like that do happen. But EchoFox was positioned really well to win that round. He just pulled a rabbit out of the hat.
And so also we're going to be seeing the Renegades too try to push, and that's a perfect flashbang. We do have coverage from Sean though back over in the entrance towards A main. So it stays alive for Freakazoid, but Rix does get knocked out of this one. Also, too, take a look at Yam, who's pushed all the way inside of the garage. Has a huge flank position. Punishes Sean. He does take a lot of damage from that, though, so he's going to fall back. And now Roka finding an additional kill onto Azur. Takes him down. Yam, JKS, and Ricky also still sort of relegating themselves around the highway area, as this could have definitely fallen back from EchoFox. They could have called for a rotate, but here comes Ricky again. He's going to go try for that self-boost, but he misses the little box on the corner, so it's going to miss this time, and he has to just regroup on highway again. EchoFox, though, actually have called for that rotate. They are slowly shifting back over here into the mid-garage, and will more than likely eventually take this into the B halls. So it's a slow process, but I think the Renegades have a good read on this. So you can see JKS getting into a position to watch for plays up onto the platform itself. Again, though, we are actually going to see a cross from EchoFox. They move back out. Yam spots it. They know the mid-pressure is alive and well. This doesn't necessarily answer any of their questions as of yet, though. They're just going to get smoked off, and that hurts them even more. Attempt from Sean to wallbang. It does end up heading in towards B, and we need to see Ricky rotating over very quickly, as JKS doesn't even want to take any part of the site. He'll get smoked out. And that pretty much guarantees the plant at the very least. However, they're moving in quickly to try and start this retake. JKS even spraying through the door, not finding anything granted, but on the way regardless. And we'll also have a position from Ricky in a second, too, moving into the vents. He's going to try to lurk for that one, but having Roka watching out for that. He's also already spotted the shoulder peek from a moment ago, so he knows to watch out for this. Now we need support from his teammates, but none are on the way just yet, and that nade's going to go in there. Bounces too far, so no damage being done, but Roka anyway moves in there. Ricky's not ready for him. Just takes him down, and I believe now this is just going to be a save call. They're 2 outmatched, and they don't really have enough utility to get back in.
You know, that round, though, I actually think it was the round before. They pushed that mid-main like right away, just pushed middle. And it seems every single time that EchoFox is 4-1-ing, they're actually not even watching it. So that was a really good read by them. They're not even watching the mid-main at all. They usually watch the flank from like White Truck and stuff. And I actually think RNG had the right idea with how they're trying to stop that 4-1, you know? They're trying to push for information, get somebody set up at the other site, and then you could just completely stack the other site that they're 4-1-ing at. Of course, you know, he got traded to aim in there, ended up in a 3v3, and pretty much anytime it's 3v3 on cash, unless you have somebody pushed up like door or something like that, or really in some really good position like Sunroom, it's always going to be pretty damn two-sided.
This match goes back into a close contest again now, as we do see the Renegades stacking together another round. Trading about like crazy over the past few here, but you can see Hazard is actually going to get burned out from his position, losing about 40, losing 40 of his health there. Again,
Yeah, but again, they're just completely giving up like one side of the map, and look where Ricky is. Obviously, they're on a pretty poor buy, but they're probably favored to win this round. They basically have 3 people towards A, 1 middle who could have a pretty quick rotate, and just, you know, positionally speaking, they're in great spots.
we'll wait now for EchoFox to start their move into. They're definitely still fully committed to this. No signs of them changing it anytime soon. A bit cautious of players like to flank them out from mid and whatnot, but there's definitely not any of that happening anytime soon here.
Yeah, but Stillo, that's definitely going to get mollied out. You know, they have 4 Molotovs right now. This is going to be tough to win.
You can see them too getting ready for the execute. No sign of a rotation from the B-bomb site too, despite Ricky having pushed all the way into Sunroom. They're going to call for it on JKS now, but even when they move out, they're hesitant. It's actually a good flashbang. Allows you still to move up, but he doesn't last very long. And look at that, Roka moves in 1-2, and Freakazoid finds the 3rd kill. The site's already cleared back out, but JKS all of a sudden just grabs 2 on his own regard there, moves in, takes position up on the site itself. They're going to volley them up, but now this has bought even more time for Ricky to move in. Doesn't mean he's well off, though. Down at 21 HP after being hit by nades, but there's another pickup from JKS. It goes into a 1v2. He can find both of them, though. There's the first one. Last one's dropped just around the corner. JKS is going to wait for it. He re-peeks back out, but Rix closes it down anyway. EchoFox finally tying this game back up at 13 rounds to all.
Yeah, just those Molotovs, man. Those Molotovs. It makes it. It almost makes it bad to stack the site, because you're just always going to be in a spot that's mollied. JKS almost saves the round there, but RNG actually has the right approach to winning those rounds. You know, they know what EchoFox is doing. They fully recognize it. They're not getting the kills, but they understand how to beat it. How to beat those 4-1s.
And again, they're going to stack in here too. They are going to try to smoke in, but Rix has a perfect angle to just rip them to shreds. He gets 4 fast kills. I'm sure he's going to want the ace, but Roka won't let him have it. He'll just move in there and take down JKS anyway. So ace denied. Rix will just have a nice little 4K there.
Yeah, both teams right here are fighting for playoffs, right? So this map is like huge right now. So you want to do everything you can to win this. Renegades is going to have a bye here. I think they probably called the pause. And we'll see. I mean, you know, there's 2 different types of strat callers, like when it comes to this situation, right? There's the strat caller that says, okay, I think they're going to adapt. Now we're going to switch it up. And then, like, you know, Existence, who obviously one of the best strat callers of all time. If you ever play against his team, if something of his is working, they will literally do it like every single round until you stop it. Like 14 rounds in a row, they'll just keep hammering it home, right? Yeah. But we'll see. I'm curious what Sean's gonna opt for here. If he's gonna keep doing like a 4-1, you know, towards A. They've been liking that a lot. They've done a lot of, you know, checkers molly, being main smoke, going through that, something like that. Or if they're gonna go back to a default. I don't know. The options are definitely open, but you know, the ball's in his court now.
Absolutely. And the Renegades, of course, really trying to look to make up after they go up on a huge streak within that first half. They're 11-4 and just haven't really been able to capitalize on it at all. Only 2 rounds so far in this half, and they've been separated. They haven't been consistent. They managed to pick them up towards the middle of this half, and again, the past 3 rounds just went right back into the control of EchoFox. Maybe expecting a pause a little bit earlier than this since things started to fall apart, maybe when they still had the lead, but now things maybe have just finally settled in for the Renegades. Like, oh, now we're really far behind at this one.
Yeah, they are.
Our economy's been wrecked, and this might be like the real last buy round that we're able to put up to against these guys.
Yeah, and for all the Stillo's heroics on T side, it might go to waste here. So for EchoFox, they have full mollies. I like how they buy, by the way. I like having the nades on cash actually on T side, but on CT side, unless if the team's not doing a fast mid, if they're doing fast mid, it's so good to have HE grenades. You could literally nade boost and nade 4 and just wreck them and put them all like 30 health. But on the T side, it's actually really good to have nades on cash because there's so many spots that are just nadeable, right? Like forklift at A is nadeable, quads nadeable, defaults nadeable, everything at A is nadeable. Everything's at B, and B is nadeable as well. If you catch somebody towards triple, you can nade them. So it's kind of funny watching if you opt for 2 flashbangs or a flashbang and a nade. It's so map dependent actually, that I like looking at that.
And so the Renegades, of course, now, as they do reinvest into it, like you said, taking it a bit lighter here. They're not going to have that extra bonus, but maybe not needing it.
And I'm not sure if they're going to have an off either, unless JKS opts to
glass cannon by.
Yeah, maybe drop to Ricky, maybe not, probably not.
Nope. He's not going to go for that. Just going to be picking up the normal rifle with armor behind it. And we do get unpause, guys, so we'll jump back into the game now and take a look at things.
And here we go with the mind game, right? Because Renegades is thinking they're going to do the same thing, probably. So that's why Sean's like, I don't know if we should do the same thing or if we should do something different.
So it looks like from the initial beginning of this one, too, the Renegades actually not going to put really any pressure in mid at all. They can counter boost up into the vents, of course, and that's where that pressure will come from. But, oh, the run boost over towards Shroud Spot does not work out. They end up messing it up a bit there, so he's just going to be stuck on the ground, and they'll have to try that again if they want for it, but more than likely, probably not going to risk it.
Yeah, one of the things I really like to do, though, is if you just use that sound cue, it actually can go completely against the other team. Because anytime I hear that, like, boost sound, I'm like, boost, 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 boost. But they could definitely just as easily fake it. So crisscross smokes, looks like they're going to go do a Molly B take. At least that's what they're set up for.
Mess up there on the flash. Teammate's head getting in the way a bit, so nothing too big out of their way. Just a bit of a wasted one. And the Molotov 2 is going to push him out, but they actually didn't realize it. So JKS is able to get a 1-for-1 in that situation. Freakazoid looking away at the wrong moment and missing it. And oh my goodness, Shazam tries to jump up and get the shot, but Ricky's going to punish that one too. Now more moving back out here, but Rick's again finding the impact. It goes down to a 3-on-2. There's fast enough rotates from the Renegades, but now they actually have to try and get their way back into this site. Specifically, Yam here is going to have a rough time since, there you go, Roka sneaking back in. Finishes Yam off, and while he still is going to drop back down from heaven, he's immediately going to get shut down from Ricks. EchoFox now get up to match point here. And the Renegades, unfortunately, will not have the best buy in the world for what could be our final round.
Dude, what a T side, though, by EchoFox. Like, they're playing really, really well. I mean, anytime you have that type of economical advantage as well, doing molly takes and things like that are so difficult to stop with CT. Because if you don't have the resources to stop that, it's almost impossible to hold like an A molly take or a B molly take and coming through quick, because you just don't have the smokes to put it out. You don't have the flashes to delay them. Now we're looking at this last round here, and Sean's already out towards highway box.
Moving himself around here too. There is going to be a player waiting for this one too. It's Yam, and Sean, a bit of hesitance on his part. He doesn't decide to push directly into this just yet. Decides to actually fall back over to the Cubby in mid here too. And while Roka finds 1 kill for himself, Azur is going to take him down immediately after that here to deny his pressure from working out towards Squeaky. This pulls the rest of EchoFox back. The problem is now they've got that extra pressure coming in from Ustillo too. He's going to spot that they're still out in the open here. And after he does that, he'll be happy with it. Just retreats over to the bomb site. Still waiting to see that effectiveness coming in from Sean as he's sitting behind the white box now, but there is no presence here at the moment on highway. And also the Renegades kind of dangerously pushing back into A main. You still are really wanting that more intel to try and confirm that it is going to be working its way towards another site, as pretty much the entire rest of EchoFox have decided to push out towards mid here. And they're going to have a free path up to the A bomb site too. Shazam's going to peek and he'll see nothing there. They've all tried to wrap around to line up these more sophisticated flanks out towards B, but there's no play coming into B. It's all in mid right now. And they're running down that timer. There's Ustillo. They're striking on the flank. They've spotted them in mid. And not only this, but Azur's going to peek back out there too. He finds a second one. Almost is chased down. He's left with 8 HP, but all of a sudden, let's put this map in a huge advantage here for the Renegades. And now it's just going to leave Sean Garris as the last one standing. He's even going to be flanked out too by Ustillo. The Renegades within 1 round of taking this to OT.
Yep, and that door push, I'm telling you, man, if that door guy goes down, it is so difficult. It opened up pushing towards A main. As soon as Ustillo came out of door, he saw somebody running away from A main, so he knew that was probably open. You know, that's easy to push, and just so much info. I don't know, once that door guy goes down, if they take control of that, it's really tough.
It would be over at that point, but now they managed to save it. However, EchoFox are going to line up a much faster play this time, and again, they're going to make that noise, but they aren't able to get Ustillo up on top there. As you were saying before, could very well be a fake as far as we know here. But for now, he's just going to be placing himself further back onto the site and wait for EchoFox really to Their striking moment to try and get into this bomb site itself. Roka has the bomb sitting just in Squeaky, and Shazam is watching for the push to work its way in from the B halls, but he won't be catching any of that. This is going back to some of the very early half stuff very early on in the half, sort of what we were seeing from EchoFox before, and this almost always led into those A main executes. Now they're going to start moving out for mid control here as Rix gets boosted over. Shazam is watching for extra pressure to move its way towards White Box, that he's free to push up towards it, but as he drops down, he's got to find the frags immediately. He's going to get one, but he's pushed over on the left side. Shazam can't do anything about that. Ricky is going to get a great angle to find the trade onto Rix. Now as they move back in, Roka finding his entry from outside Squeaky. He still is on the site, though, ready to defend. Roka trades, and Shazam finds Ricky. He got himself into that position before, but he also trapped himself in it by pushing it. Now it's just JKS. He takes the risk, moves out, loses about a third of his HP in the process, getting up onto this position here, but when it comes time to frag, he doesn't do it. So EchoFox are going to take this second map 16-14. And with that, these two teams will trade tonight, going 1-1.
Yeah, that's their bread and butter right there. We saw them do it the 4th round, and I commented how good that strat is, and they just did it again there, where they just throw nades A, they get Shazam. You know, the cues for them to probably do that is when it's a 2-1-2 probably, but also when as soon as there's no mid-main smoke. You know, when the mid-main smoke dissipates, Shazam's able to go out there. He's able to op and cover Ronnie. He's able to go for highway freely, and it worked both times, like, beautifully. Like, that strat is really, really good and well thought out, for sure.
Interesting piece of stats, by the way, for the Renegades now is although they do drop this map, of course, even though they started the season off 1-5, they've managed to go, I believe it's now at this point, I think it would be 9-2, since that would have been 10-1 if they managed to take that one. But still, an impressive turnaround nonetheless, and it's kept them very comfortably in the top 6 to be able to take this. But that is going to close things out for myself and Days for the evening, and we are going to send things back over to the analysis desk to close back out. Guys, take it away. Let us know your thoughts on that final map.
Thanks, Blue. I mean, I don't know that Cash was always that T-sided, but it was an 11-4 half. It looked like possibly Renegades was going to run away with it. Very similar to Cash. Got a great start. Ustilo was playing some godlike Counter-Strike. And then they switched sides, and then EchoFox had their chance at T-side and won 12-3 on their half. So we saw a 5-man towards site, 4-1 kind of splits. It was very much like a wolf pack style of T-sides. It was very effective. What were your thoughts on that match?
It was, I mean, I liked, both teams looked pretty awesome on T-side. It looked like they're coordinated with their smokes, their flashes, their Molotovs. One thing that I've noticed from, at least from Team RNG, is that they always got to the forklift area, just rushed there. They held it. They got kills, and you know, one way to kind of stop that is maybe toss a Molotov in that area as they toss their smokes and flashes and kind of hop through it. You didn't ever see a Molotov in that fork area that much, and I think maybe if they toss it, at least slow them down. Maybe wait for smokes to kind of clear up, and then they have to re-peek you and have a lot better angles.
Yeah, it's interesting. Energy, a team we saw play earlier in the day, actually does something similar. There's that like quad smoke, and then they throw that smoke, and then they come jumping out of A main, and they did that over and over at that A bomb site. Did Renegades tonight, and there wasn't really an adjustment made on the EchoFox side. What about flipping that over to the CT side for Renegades? We saw very similar on a lot of rounds, kind of 4-1 type splits, and then we saw the A execute, and then that A execute, our team calls that execute danger zone because you're running up the highway, Kenny Loggins style, right into the danger zone. And aside from a few of those rounds where those executes, still very much like a group kind of wolf pack type of thing. What could Renegades have done to have a better CT side than that? Because they literally only got 3 rounds.
I would say maybe use the AWP a lot more. Maybe like have an AWP by spawn, just kind of like rush. Here you take a shot and then fall back. Make Team EchoFox use more nades at the start of the round to push you back. Because what happened a lot of times was that they kind of let them come up a little bit on a lot of rounds, and then they would just smoke, flash, and then kind of, you know, take the bomb site. You have to make them waste some flash and some smokes in early rounds, so they can't just walk up and smoke everything out, flash everything out, and just pretty much walk their, you know, their comfortable style of play.
So we take a look at some of the replays. This first wave replays earlier in the first half. Renegades seemed like they were really going to run away with this. We see it just like a real fast boost over mid, playing super confident. They're able to basically impose their will on the opposition. We see here Ronnie falls. He's got a JKS teammate of Riccio is just sitting there waiting for it. Trade it, goes to a 3v3. They actually get this kill. Ustilo kills Shazam. A difficult position for Shazam to be in here. And super fast start. If you're EchoFox and you're starting slow on some of these maps, if you're the coach of EchoFox, what do you do to change for that? To say, hey guys, I know we've been really slow to start on some of these maps. Let's do this, and we'll come out like we did in that second half, but in the first half.
Maybe kind of stop playing that 2-on-2 kind of setup. Maybe send more people in the bomb site. So if they do hit that site, you have a lot better chance of headshotting someone. A lot of times it looked like, or at least it felt like, that EchoFox was pretty thinned out all over. You know, they had like Shazam and Quad. They had a person near highway or by truck area, and it was harder for them to really collapse on Team Renegades there when they were exploding into spots and just outpicking them, just out aiming Team EchoFox that first half.
I might have said 11-4. It may have been a 10-5 half. We got another replay of the 13th round where it seemed like EchoFox, they basically were able to win enough rounds on this CT side to give them, they're probably very confident in their T side, and they know, like, hey guys, we just need a handful of rounds. This is a good hold here on the A bomb site.
Yeah, you can see here they're actually tossing smokes, and Sean actually is in a nice spot. They did not check that spot, and he gets 2 kills. And if you get 2 kills off the bat, it makes a world of to retake this bomb site. And then you have Hercules right there just flanking really fast, and just good timing, and I mean, just the perfect time to flank that quick.
Yeah, and we saw Sean playing close up on that smoke there at A main. Days mentioned that, I think it was Ronnie, it was Ricks who was in the site and got flashed. Player jumps through. Playing close on that smoke gives him a little bit more options. It's interesting because that's the exact way that Immortals plays. They're always close on smokes. It's just fundamentally good, especially CT side. You get a lot of kills. We saw Sean get 2 there. We've got another replay from later on in the half. Looks like EchoFox was really starting to find the rhythm. This is a good execute on kind of a force buy, and they're able to kind of use this round to pivot and get themselves in a position to close this out as they did.
Yeah, and as you see that they toss their smokes and Molotov kind of put Riccio in a weird spot where he can't really move in the bomb site, and so he gets kind of caught in the spot. And just the kill, you got that knife kill, the Alps, and Team Renegade just kind of fall apart right there. Riccio was just an odd man out, and maybe if he had a teammate next to him, I could have helped him, at least got some early kills, and it could have been a different round if, he won't so thinned out in that B bomb site.
And then we see just really tough there for you still to have a chance in that 2v1. They played it well. Ronnie actually did a really good job when he got mollied out at that checker box.
Oh yeah.
Instead of knowing that the guy's holding for you, he just runs out knowing, like, I'm not gonna be able to stop and shoot. Let me just jump, stay alive, continue this 2v1, and it ended up working out. Then we've got one last replay. It's the 26th round. This is when EchoFox ties up the game, and it looked like they're gonna be able to push themselves, over that hump and get the win, which obviously they did.
Yeah, Team EchoFox just has lots of utility, their Molotov and everything, and then just kind of like it's a routine. It's something that they practice, taking over the bomb site. JKS, though, almost cleans it up right there, but he gets some nice kills, and it turns into 2-on-2. And
yeah, this is that 1v2 that Ronnie had where he jumps up on this box, gets the first kill, and JKS, as heroic of a round it was for him, he just didn't have enough HP to have a chance at this.
Yeah, nice play by him, too. It's a 1-on-2 situation. You have to go for the kills. You can't just play it passive and hopefully that they won't peek on you, because once you start playing the bomb, they're going to be charging at you or attempting to charge at you. And it was a really nice play by Ricks.
Yep. And we saw AZR in that first map. What statistically went off. Ustillo was the one that had a really good start. Really good start for the Renegades in that half. Finished it over the 30 kill mark. 30 kills, 6 assists. 23 deaths. When you have a hot streak and like you've got 20-something kills in a half, how do you carry that over to the second half? Because it seemed like he ran out of gas a little bit towards the second half.
I think it's maybe not taking so many risks all the time, because a lot of times you would see him, he literally just ran out by himself almost in the A bomb site in the first half and just took down everybody. He just kill him. And as CT side or in the other half, people kind of will pick up these tendencies like, hey, this guy's just, have so much confidence. He's peeking by himself. Let's just hold the angle maybe. Let's just kind of do a little crossfire bait or something like that. So maybe just, have a confident mindset. Make sure that
positive vibes.
Positive vibes. Don't take too many risks. You got to take some risks, but have that safe game as well.
And we saw Roca started to heat up there, had that nice, really, really nice eco. It was all eco frags, but it was like 6 or 7 bullets.
Yeah.
Very, very clean. It ended up in an ace, but 29 kills, 17 deaths. He was kind of the response for Justillo's performance in that first half. That was kind of Roca's in the second. Any closing thoughts on that map before we recap the matches for the day?
I mean, I thought Team EchoFox played well. They really came back, and they kept their composure. They did not give up, and you can't let them just walk up and toss their smokes and flashes in the bomb site over there. It'll just tear you apart. There
you go. So we're going to take a quick look at today's matches. We had closer Counter-Strike than we did yesterday. Obviously, a much longer day. 16-14 as CLG Mirage seems to be developing a little bit of a rivalry with Energy. It seems like Energy was playing great. I was expecting Energy to come out possibly 2-0 that. But we saw, even in that second map, 9-16, CLG loses, but it was closer than the scoreline felt. We saw Nuke, super good CT side from Renegades again on that map, taking out EchoFox 16-8. And as they split the series, losing 14-16 on Cash, EchoFox gets that win at the last map on the night. Any thoughts on the earlier matches in the day?
CLG needed that win really bad, not just for the league, but also for a team confidence, you know, new team, and they beat like a pretty mid-tier team of NRG. It helps your team that much more in the long run, especially when you go back to practice and, you know, talk about what happened and how things happened. It's just like they're showing progress, and that's what you really needed.
So all these matches now, this late in the season, can be the difference between making the LAN event and not making. We know that now instead of being 4 spots, 6 spots, so 2 extra teams got a little bit of a glimmer of hope. EchoFox don't really know what to make of them. Sometimes they play great. They take out Liquid, then they struggle on a map that's probably their best map right now against Renegades. If you're the coach for EchoFox, what do you say to them? What do you do to take those peaks and valleys and just kind of bring it to a high-level baseline?
I would say maybe play more teamwork on the CT side. You see the teamwork on T side a lot, especially in that last half. But CT side looks kind of shaky. I saw Shazam just like he takes an op shot and then he's just running with his flashbang out. Like, have your teammate flash for you and keep that op out. I mean, if you're opping, you're in a power position. You're a key person that it's 1 shot, 1 kill, and it's a ranged gun. Like, you can't be. You have to have more teamwork where your teammates are kind of helping you out a little bit and a little coordination, and then able to fall back and regroup and maybe even have some retake bomb site takes too against teams that have really good strats.
Yeah, we did see them struggle a bit on their CT sides tonight. Well, that's going to do it for us here at the ESL studios in Burbank, California. Thank you very much for watching. We will be back next week, Tuesday at 4:45 p.m. Pacific time is the start of the pre-show. We hope to see you then.